The Steelers, would they, should they, may they have drafted a quarterback in the first round? That's the question. Shady, where do you stand? The Steelers are waiting on Aaron Rodgers. He don't know if he want to play.
What you in?
Yo, that's a new beat. Is that a new beat? They got my feet tapping the body.
Shady went from Harlem Shady.
My bad. That beat is hot.
Shady, should the Steelers draft a quarterback in the first round?
They got to. I mean, they keep missing. It's like Kobe for three, man. Steph Curry, man, they keep missing. You got to keep shooting. I think what they need, man, they really need to focus on the defense because last year, at the middle to the end of the year, the defense was not good. They need some guys up front. They need some linemen. And I think you need a good running back, but you got to get a quarterback, at least for the future. We keep talking about Shedeur Sanders might slip. He may slip. But if he slip and goes to the Steelers, I respect it because now you can let him come into the Steeler way of running the ball with good defense and then let him grow as a quarterback because he got talent. But they got to get a quarterback because if not, man, they're going to be in the same position they always are in.
No doubt.
Good enough to win and get to the playoffs, but not good enough to win anything else.
Yeah. No, they're not going to be in that position, Shady. If Mason Rudolph tried out there, the streak is over. He's not going to the playoffs, especially the way the defense played at the end of the season. You go out there with Mason Rudolph, you go out there, Najee Harris is gone, you go out there with that offense, the defense is going to be on the field a lot. You're not going to win a lot of games. They must draft a quarterback, even if they do sign Aaron Rodgers. And I believe they should draft a quarterback in the first round, sign Aaron Rodgers, because I believe Aaron Rodgers could help the young quarterback develop, because whether we like it or not, Pittsburgh Steelers are not good at developing quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers was a big part in helping develop Jordan Love. Get him in there and help him develop that young quarterback. So with Aaron Rodgers, without Aaron Rodgers, the ticket that the Pittsburgh Steelers put in on draft night should absolutely be a quarterback.
I'm fearful of answering this question the way y'all did because whether or not the Steelers draft a quarterback, the dilemma with the Pittsburgh Steelers is they cannot develop quarterbacks. They haven't proven to develop quarterbacks. So truth be told, are the Steelers better off drafting a quarterback knowing they're not going to be able to develop him, whether it's Landry Jones, whether it's Josh Dobbs, whether it's Kenny Pickett, regardless of who that quarterback is, they haven't proven a propensity to develop quarterbacks, or should they try for Rodgers? If you swing and miss on Rodgers, you go acquire Kirk Cousins. The Steelers have to know who they are. And at this point, Mike Tomlin, your weakness is both the ability to identify quarterbacks and the ability to develop quarterbacks. The worst-kept secret about Mike Tomlin is this. He only won with Big Ben. Yeah. And Big Ben was already developed before Mike Tomlin got there. Yeah. So the dilemma with the Steelers are, even if you draft a Q, you ain't going to be able to develop them, and college quarterbacks are not NFL ready-made. They're not like wide receivers. So I don't care that the Steelers draft a quarterback because they can't develop a quarterback, so what's the point?
So you say don't even draft a quarterback?
No.
So go out there with Rudolph, huh?
No, Rodgers, if you swing and miss on Rodgers, Kirk Cousins is a backup right there in Atlanta. I feel you. I don't think Kirk is great, but I think
the difference is? The difference is you getting no production but expensive payment.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is expensive payment, but that's not going to be productive. His days are over, dog.
I don't disagree, but can't Kirk Cousins win you with that defense,
Kirk can't win nothing, man.
9-10 games.
Did you see Kirk last year, man?
But think about it. Justin Fields, 4-2. Russell Wilson, 5-5 or something along those lines. I think Kirk Cousins can get you 9-10 wins.
What I'm telling you is, I hear what you're saying, but what about the production part? So it's like, what are you paying for? You're going to get a high, expensive quarterback. It's not going to be productive.
You're paying.
So why not get a rookie that's not as expensive?
I believe you're
more
paying
money on the defense or offense.
I think you're paying for a ticket, James, to the playoffs. Yeah. Kirk Cousins is the price of admission to the playoffs is Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins.
So that's why I think you're paying for the development of your young quarterback. That's why I say draft a young quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers says today, hey, man, I'm retiring and I don't want to play football no more, if you do go get a Kirk Cousins, he's going to help you develop that young quarterback. You hear Michael Penix talk. I sat in the meeting rooms with him, talked to him 24/7, seen him play, seen the good, he's going to help you develop him. If you get a veteran quarterback in there, that's going to help develop the young quarterback. I had a conversation with Aaron Rodgers. I said, man, hey, you see that throw by Jordan Love? He was like, yeah, but I texted him too and said you should have got to this check on this certain play, on this down and distance. So he's teaching these young boys. It's a lot of checks that James, Jordan Love's getting. You need a guy to help develop. Y'all can't. You're right.
I love all that. And thanks to Aaron, but like,
you need a dude that can help.
We got to stop this, man. We got to stop promoting these guys that can't play no more. And it's okay. Everybody has that time where, look, there's knock on the door, you're not the same guy. Kirk Cousins, is that the answer? Real quick, because I'm big on, like, players in the locker room. You bring Kirk to the locker room, What are you telling them? What's the message you telling the players?
We're trying to get better than Mason Rudolph.
Yes.
Listen what I'm saying. Hear me out for a second, right? When you bring Kirk Cousins in there, though, like an answer. Hey, I know we have quarterback issues. We're going to bring Kurt in.
I wouldn't say it's the answer, but I would say it's the best option.
That's it, Shady. Like,
but why not you might as well go get a Ricky and try to develop that dude.
But
we know what Kurt is.
But here's and you're not wrong, but give me the 4,000-yard passer, the 3,800-yard passer is going to throw for 27 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, Kirk Cousins, over a quarterback who you can't develop. Bro, they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, Kenny Pickett, I think Jackson Dart has a much higher ceiling.
They say it's Jalen Milroe.
But like we know what the Steelers are capable of doing. How many quarterbacks we got to watch them draft and swing and miss on? They've drafted 4 quarterbacks in the 4th round or greater in the last 10 years, and none of them panned out into anything. None of them in Pittsburgh.
So you just stop shooting?
No, you shoot for vets. You shoot for what they did last year. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields,
but see,
Aaron Rodgers,
I understand that
Kirk
part.
Cousins. You shoot for vets.
If you don't get Aaron Rodgers and he retires, right, and Kurt cannot just be the answer. You need to draft somebody because my thing with Kurt is we already seen that, man. We already seen that, man.
But here's my problem is the truth of the situation is this. You either, if you're Mike Tomlin, you got to get a vet, or you got to get rid of Mike Tomlin and you got to get a young bull. But the combination of Mike Tomlin and a young quarterback don't mesh. So the hard conversation Steelers fans have to ask themselves is, if we want to try to go the route of a young quarterback, then we can't go the route of Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin can't develop young quarterbacks. Let's go get an offensive mind. Let's get an offensive wizarded head coach. Then let's get a young quarterback. But if you're going to stay with Mike Tomlin, which is fine, he's one of the greatest coaches in the history of football, then you have to get a veteran. Ben Roethlisberger had already won a Super Bowl before Mike Tomlin ever showed up, and that's where Mike Tomlin was successful. So that, to me, James, is your options. It's either Mike Tomlin and a vet, or it's a young bull and a new coach.
I agree. I believe it's a vet and a rookie quarterback. I think that should be the formula because that veteran is going to help Mike Tomlin mold that young boy. That's the only option. That is the only option you have. The ticket in the first round for the Pittsburgh Steelers has to be a quarterback. You have Mason Rudolph on the roster right now. You cannot put the ticket in for nobody else.
Here's my problem, though. Why? Because Ben Roethlisberger was there with all those quarterbacks, and none of them panned out. He was there when Landry Jones was there. He was there when Dennis Dixon was drafted. He was there when Josh Dobbs was drafted. He was there when Mason Rudolph was drafted. I don't think he was there when Kenny Pickett was there.
But what I'm saying is they're not first rounders.
Yeah, hold on. So it's only been one first rounder. Is Kenny Pickett in the last, 10 years?
Yeah, because you have Big Ben.
Oh, okay, so let's get a first rounder, though. But them guys ain't first round talents, though.
Agreed.
All the guys you named, but real quick, Kirk Cousins had 18 touchdowns and 16 picks.
I know.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good at all.
But remember, at the time, the Atlanta Falcons still had, I think they might have been 8-8 or 7-7. Like,
what that mean?
Well, I'm saying, if you give that same Kirk to a Steelers team with a good defense,
Acho, I get
they're going to win 10 games and make the playoffs.
You know Kirk?
No.
Okay. You trying hard to sell him, and I get it. All I'm saying is, go out there and try to do another shot at a first-round quarterback. All these guys you talked about, they fifth rounders, fourth rounders?
Let's be real, right?
Fourth, third,
So
fourth. I don't even know that many good quarterbacks that's been in the fifth and fourth round. Do y'all?
No, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, especially recently.
So go get a first rounder or at least a second rounder.
Here's what we know. Y'all know first-round picks are everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You get one of them a year. They just drafted a first-round quarterback in 2022.
It didn't work out. Okay.
It didn't work out.
Okay.
So now you're telling me, just 3 years later,
you have to.
Y'all want me to do the same thing?
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
So wait, in football, like nothing's a guarantee.
Of course.
All right, so it didn't work out. Cool. That mean you stopped?
No.
All the other quarterbacks, see, I didn't know that the draft class, right? Because I knew the names, but I mean, like, these guys are really backups. You had one first rounder in Kenny Pickett. All these other guys are seventh round, third round, fourth round.
But here's my issue. Even some of these third and fourth rounders we've seen in the NFL, give me a competent offensive mind, and you can elongate the career. A Dak Prescott fourth rounder, a Kirk Cousins, who did he have? He had Kyle Shanahan as a rookie. He had John Gruden as a rookie. The son Gruden.
Maybe some other ones, though, because that's two.
I'm even suggesting even a guy like Gardner Minshew. Don't get distracted, right? I'm not saying Gardner's great. But what I'm suggesting is Gardner was a fifth-round pick, played some good football. Landry Jones didn't even play football. Mason Rudolph ain't even really played no football. Josh Dobbs played good football elsewhere, but he didn't play good football with the Steelers. And Kenny Pickett ain't even played no football.
I'll just say this. For my quarterback, any other position, I could take a third or fourth round, fifth round guys, because it don't matter where you drafted at. But for me, quarterback, it does. I don't want no fourth, fifth round quarterbacks.
That's fair. I agree
truly
with that.
I don't even want to look at them.
I agree with that.
I don't even want to look at them at all. All right, I want to look at first or second round quarterbacks. I need some talent in you a little bit. All right, so my thing is, it didn't work out, 12 years ago with Big Ben? Go out there and get one more first rounder. Kenny Pickett didn't work out. Cool. You need another first round quarterback.
Let me ask y'all this, though. Let me ask y'all this.
Low round quarterbacks.
The question isn't just, Jay, it didn't work out. That's the statement. But if something continually doesn't work out, eventually you have to ask yourself why.
Yeah.
And what I'm suggesting is it didn't work out because of how Mike Tomlin runs his program and because Mike Tomlin is very old school with his offensive mind and with his offensive minds around him, Arthur Smith. Even if you draft Jalen Milroe, he ain't finna develop with Arthur Smith. Even if you draft Jackson Dart, he ain't gonna develop with Arthur Smith. So get him if you want to, but I'm just asking, why?
I understand what you're saying because they have not been good at developing quarterbacks. That's a fact.
Why is that a fact, though?
Because that's
just the track record.
But real quick, though, and I'm just trying to figure out.
I'm not saying they
but I'm saying, but how many quarterbacks are going to be you going to develop when they fourth and fifth rounders?
This is all we're saying, though. I watched fifth, sixth round Matt Flynn come in and throw for 5 to play well under offensive coaches. The Steelers have not shown us that they can get a first round quarterback, a third round quarterback, a 12th round quarterback to play well.
He's only had one of those guys, though.
No, but I'm saying they had a bunch of other ones in the round. They haven't got a quarterback to play well.
Even think about what the Cowboys did with Cooper Rush, right? Just let me see you get better. Cooper Rush got good enough that the Ravens are like, you know what, Coop? We'll give you $8 million. Gardner Minshew. Gardner wasn't drafted to be the starter. I think he was drafted backing up Nick Foles, if I'm not mistaken. But we saw him get better.
You say like some streaks?
No, not even streaks. Just I want to see improvement.
So wait, hold up now. We got to be fair. So Mason Rudolph, he had some players where he played decent.
That's not about playing.
No, he did, though. Yeah. Y'all being funny, but there's times where he won some games for him.
Correct.
So what are we talking about? Because my thing is, how much am I going to get out of a 4th, 5th round quarterback? Yeah. As many times you want to give me these Dak Prescotts and
Kirk Cousins.
And Kirk Cousins. I can name way more situations where they don't work out.
Of course.
Yes. So when y'all say that Tomlin can't develop quarterbacks, what quarterbacks are we talking about? We're talking about 4th and 5th rounders?
Even first rounders.
It's only been, but Acho's only been one.
Of course, but okay, you can't tell me this, Shady, because you can be fair. Okay, I can't count the 4th rounders or 4th rounders. Okay, Shady, the first rounder. Can't count him, it's only been one. Shady, how much, you're discrediting all the whole sample size.
I'm not, but I see time after time where organizations don't get it right with the quarterbacks, and they keep going. And we don't say, well, they can't develop them. We don't say that. But the problem is that Mike Tomlin has been a coach for so long that you can nick and pick at things. He's been here for so long.
That's one of the things that he has to do. But
I'll just say this. I don't know how many good 4th, 5th round quarterbacks there are.
It don't matter. At the end of the day, they don't got a quarterback.
Correct.
Right. That's the biggest hole in your team right now. So you have to draft one. Whether all the ones you had did not develop, you have to draft. You don't have one. So you got to draft on whether you think Arthur Smith could to develop them or not. This is your quarterback, bro. This is the ticket that's in.
My concern is, again, you're right, because I don't want to get stuck in this combo, but when I think about Kyle Shanahan, when I think about Sean McVay, when I think about Zach Taylor, when I think about Kevin O'Connell, when I think about offensive minds, any quarterback they touch at least gets better.
They do. They play.
Josh Dobbs can only do so much, but with the Minnesota Vikings, at least he got better. Baker Mayfield went to the Rams, and all of a sudden, resurgence, and now he's back with the Bucs. He's gotten better. Obviously, Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold got better. Jimmy Garoppolo got better. All I'm suggesting, Shady, you're not wrong. 4th can only do so much, but offensive-minded coaches, they touch these guys, and they get better. Mike Tomlin, none of the Qs even get better. They don't even get better.
I
can't say that, man. I just know that you named 3 first rounders that was supposed to be good, that wasn't good, then they got good again.
No, even Jake Browning, I don't want to get lost in names, but Jake Browning, backup quarterback when Joe Burrow got hurt, played really good football. Guys have gotten better. Jimmy Garoppolo was a backup 2nd-round pick out of Eastern Illinois, I believe. 2nd-round pick, but he wasn't a guy. He was just a backup 2nd-round pick. Got better. Brock Purdy got better.
The Packers, he got better.
So what I'm going to do is, because you guys are so confident about this, I'm going to get some games where Mason Rudolph play well and they win games. I'm going to get you that.
They can win games. The Steelers quarterbacks, they can win. Mason Rudolph had a winning record.
They're not going to the playoffs.
But how many other guys are going to playoffs? I don't trust some of these guys is going to playoffs in this ball.
Just be honest, though, Shady. Do you believe that Mike Tomlin can develop quarterbacks as good as offensive minds? Shady, you're too smart. I don't even know if you're being serious or not.
I'm being
honest.
serious. The thing, I'll say it again. It's that he's been there for so long that you can nitpick at things. When you have Big Ben for so long, it's easy to say that. He hasn't been good since he has Big Ben. It's easy to say that. But when you start looking at some of these now obviously some of these guys you're talking about are way more advanced than Mike because they're offensive guys.
Yeah, that's all I'm suggesting. Even Kevin Stefanski, right? Like, I think even Kevin Stefanski is taking random little poochies, QBs, and like.
But even Joe Flacco, right? You should be decent.
Yeah.
Like, you was a starting quarterback for years. You should be decent.
But remember,
you get what I'm saying?
But with
some of these guys you're talking about, you should be good. Flacco won a Super Bowl. We talking about him like he shouldn't be good. You win a Super Bowl, you should be okay. I hear what y'all saying. All I'm saying is, the issue I have is, Tomlin been there for so long, and then, okay, he had one first-round quarterback in his tenure since Big Ben.
You're gonna get mad when I say this. You are going to get incredibly
I don't really get that mad in life in just general.
Last year, Tomlin had a first-round quarterback. Justin Fields was there. Did he get better? He's gone now. Last year he had.
Wait, hold on. He went 4-2, correct?
Yeah, winning and losing is different than getting better. I agree with you. If you can win. Tomlin's never had a quarterback with a losing record. So that's why I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Wait, getting better. I watched Justin Fields lose a lot of games, a lot of times. I watched Justin Fields look terrible on the field. I watched that. I watched that with with the Bears. He looked awful, did he not?
Yeah.
Okay, but you go to the Steelers, I don't know how y'all, justifying good or not. The brother went 4-2. He's been a loser his whole career until he got to the Steelers. Correct or not?
I'm not arguing that.
Okay, so I'm not getting mad, but that was wrong. The dude got better. He's 4-2.
He won games, but you said it before. He won games predicated oftentimes off of field goals, beating teams. I think the Atlanta Falcons 10-9, if I'm not mistaken.
Hold on, bro. Hold on real quick. So me being real, I gotta be real. I can't give you credit when you ball, but then when you do bad, I just say, oh, that didn't happen. He played terrible with the Bears and didn't win. He didn't win games with the Bears.
Correct.
You go to the Steelers and you was winning games, so I give you credit for that. And you got $30 million for the way you played at Pittsburgh, so you got better somewhere.
So you give him the credit for those wins?
All I'm saying is if I'm arguing for him, bro, you did go 4-2. You did do that. Because I watched other games, maybe they didn't look as great, but I watched other games, you used to lose some games. You get what I'm saying? I can't say, dog, you just terrible, but then when you have 4-2, we just ignore it.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.